where do you feel a sense of more collaboration or camaraderie amongst your staff since we started taking this journey together?
I mean, I will say when I think one example that's coming to mind is I think it was January, Hani came and did a full day workshop in September, which was great, but everyone is so focused on the beginning of the year that it's hard to like feel a sense of team, because even though there is a sense of team, it's, you know, you're in the moment with like school starting 2 days later. Yeah. But when Hani came and did a full day workshop in January, I felt like the teachers really worked well, not just with their own classroom team, but with their grade level team. I feel like afterwards, the week or two after, there were some ideas that came out and teachers were more willing maybe, or more interested in sharing, you know, oh, I did this, let me share this. So I think that those big workshops have been very helpful, first of all, in learning new things for all of us, but also in that ability to kind of sit and share the positives in my classroom, what am I struggling with? What are you struggling with? Because as we know, teachers might not always share that, but often they have very similar struggles in their classroom.
Yes, they all have the same struggles. Yes. There's one thing that teachers need to realize is that no one is a special snowflake. Right. All the kids are very much the same in all parts of the world. They're all 3-year-olds really fall into a very similar zone, you know, and they're all, but I also think one of the biggest pieces also in building that gap between September and January was we had a lot of webinars in between. Right. Where we got on the phone and they were able to ask a lot more questions, and I gave more targeted feedback. So it was a little bit more, well, you tell me, what do you think the teachers felt when, from September to January is a long time period. And because we were working together all year, there was a different kind of manifestation of this growth that the teachers were going through.
And I think it depends obviously on the specific teacher, and some teachers, and this is what would happen in any school, ended up doing a little bit more one-on-one work with Hani, sometimes because that was what maybe I wanted, but sometimes because it came naturally. I had a few teachers that on their own, you know, reached out to Hani and I didn't even know, which was fine. And it was after the fact that they would say, oh, well, I you know, been emailing with Hani and she gave me these ideas, which is fabulous. I had no problems with that. And I think that, you know, also what happened was there were, you know, I already said this situation about the classroom. We had with the setup of that twos room, we also had a situation in the threes this year where there was a student that we were from very early on struggling with and felt needed some outside services. And we were just trying to navigate how to best approach his parents because they seemed very resistant. And Hani really helped us with a framework for that. And I know that the teachers in that room, I was very clear. I mean, I did most of the work with Hani on that, but I made it very clear when I shared everything with the teachers that most of these ideas were coming from Hani, that, you know, and which was great because what it also showed was, again, that this situation is the same one. Hani had never met the child. It's the same situation that happens everywhere, and you can handle it a very similar way, tweaking it to the individual. And I feel like in that particular room, it made the teachers, it was so helpful for the teachers. So they, you know, developed a trust and a new respect, not that they didn't already respect Hani, but like a new respect because they realized how helpful that information was. And I think that happened in a few rooms where when Hani would visit the classroom and then follow up with the teacher afterwards, or the teachers and the team, you know, they developed relationships. And I think it's always about relationship building, because when there is something that needs to be worked on, which we all have, it feels very different coming from someone that you feel like you have a relationship with, someone that you feel like has seen you do good stuff also.
Yes.
So the first time Hani came, you know, if something didn't go perfectly in the classroom, a teacher might have been like, oh no, you know, it was such a bad day. I remember one teacher actually coming saying, it wasn't a good day for her to see my room. This one was crying, this one was biting, this one, and that happens. But once the teachers developed a relationship and Hani had seen them also have good days, they didn't feel as worried when she saw the bad days, because we all have them.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so glad you shared that piece, because there's just, again, all teachers and all human beings, we all have little insecurities when someone's kind of watching us or whatever it is. And what's important to recognize also is that teachers need to understand that no one is going to have this awesome, perfect day every single day. That's just not life. And if you did, it would sound like kind of spooky. Like, okay, what are you giving the kids that they're always so well behaved every single day, you know? So I love that you share that piece. So